there, it's Liz Yule from Old Stables Crafts again. I've got a fairly quick and easy card to bring to you today. I was having a bit of a let's have a look through the annual catalogue session. I think sometimes we get a bit hung up on all the bright new shiny stuff and forget that there's a lovely annual catalogue that that has lots of lovely shiny stuff in it as well. So this is a card using the Serene Scenery designer series paper stack, and these are photo realistic on one side and then textural on the other, and they've got some really lovely patterns to work with, so I thought I would have a play with that today. So this is the one that I've already made, and as ever I'll do something slightly different this time. So this time I will be using this paper, which is, let's find the original of it, it's this one, which I think is just beautiful. So this is Delightful Dijon cardstock, whereas for this one it was Old Olive. And remember that on the front of all of the designer series papers, or if they're the 12 by 12 on the back, we do get a list of the colours that are used, so it's really easy to just pick out the colours that you need. So this is an A5 piece of cardstock, say Delightful Dijon, scored in half in the middle, and then I'm going to fold that in half. And just as a quick sort of reminder on this, when you've scored in the middle, you want to fold it so that the mountain, if you like, is on the inside, and then just with your bone folder, just give it a nice score so that it's nice and crisp. So that's our front. Then we've got a mat of crumb cake, and this is cut at 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And I've also got a mat of Whisper White that's the same size, which will go on the inside, because it's a bit difficult to write on this, so I'll be popping this on the inside and stamping on that. And then the designer series paper I have cut down to 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. As ever, measurements will be on my the associated blog post, which will be linked in the video below. And for those of you working in metric, the crumb cake and the Whisper White are 14 1/4 by 10, roughly, and the designer series paper is 14 by 9 1/2 centimetres, roughly. And then we've got a piece of the natural ribbon with the gold, and that measures 5 inches, which is roughly 13 centimetres, there or thereabouts. So that's what we're going to be using. Now I'm going to be heat embossing the sentiment, and I'm using the stamp set that goes with the designer series paper, which is called Scenic Sayings. These are on red rubber. They're really big, bold stamps. The front is at 95%, so these are actually bigger. But then I'm also, for the inside, going to be using the Floral Phrases stamp set, and I'm just going to be using Congratulations, because this time I'm going to be using the Oh Happy Days stamp, which is this one. So let's get that out. Now, so I'm going to be heat embossing, and I'm actually going to stamp this onto the mat, which may seem a bit odd, but waste not, want not. We can actually use the inside of the mat to do the stamping and then cut out from that. And I'm going to be using the stitched framelets, stitched shapes framelets, which are back in stock. And I'm going to be using the largest of the circle dies. They've got ovals and circles and squares, and they work really well with the layering dies. But this, as you can see, will fit in the middle, and it will still give me enough space to mat. So as I say, waste not, want not. I'm actually going to run this through the big shot first. So I will just, I've got the big shot down to the side. I won't bring it in. All I'm going to be doing is running it through. So while I'm doing that, remember that we've got Celebration on. Remember that if you spend £45 or more, well, for each £45 you spend, you are allowed to pick a free item from the Celebration catalogue. So bear that in mind. So this is the stitched item, the stitched circle, and then this is left for matting and layering, which I will do in a moment. So I've got this mounted on a D block, and I will bring in my Versamark and get that well inked. You can actually see on the stamp that it's got a nice shiny finish. And then I'll just bring in my embossing buddy so that we make sure that we only get embossing powder where we want it. What's going to be quite interesting is keeping it out of the stitched areas. I keep my embossing buddy on a little hook that I hang it up just by my craft table. So if you spotted that, that'll be why. So let's make sure you can see what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is go down, give it a good press in the middle, and try not to rock, because you don't want to catch the edges. And then I can see that that is reasonably well done. So I will bring in my embossing powder, and this is the gold again. And then I'll just sprinkle that, give it a good flick at the back. There's a little bit there that I don't want, but other than that, that's good to go. So I'll bring in my heat gun, which I just need to warm up, which I will do under the desk. So yes, Celebration, £45 or multiples thereof, you get a free item from the Celebration catalogue. So if you're looking at £45 or thereabouts or a multiple, then obviously make sure you don't miss out on that. And also really good time to join Stampin' Up, because along with the £130 of product of your choice, you get to choose 2 free stamp sets of your choice as well. So bear that in mind too. Right, this is well warmed. I'm just going to pick this up with a pair of tweezers so I don't burn myself. And sorry about the noise. Not much I can do about that apart from take the volume down when I'm recording, which isn't that straightforward to do. And I have to say, I will never tire of watching embossing powder turn to gold. It's alchemy. I mean, it's just, isn't that just beautiful to look at? And I find that if you blast the back as well, it helps flatten it out a little bit. Let's pop that away. Just put it on the floor so it doesn't heat anything up. So there we are. So that's that done. So let's now put the card together. So I will bring in my snail and just run some. I will make sure that I get it properly on the sides, because obviously there's only a slim piece of the mat. Need to think about changing that. It's getting to its end. So just pop that in the middle there. So that's that. And then this is going to go up here so we can still see the dandelions. And then behind it, I'm going to pop this ribbon. And I'm going to fix that on with a bit of fast fuse at the back. So I'm just going to work out where I want my ribbon. If I pop it on the... I want to make sure you can still see what's going on. So I want it, get myself a pencil and just put a little mark there so I know where the bottom is. And then I want that so that it's just above the thick line. So if I pop fast fuse, remember fast fuse is gentle and a flick, gentle pressure and a flick, and it's useful just to flick in opposite directions each time you use it if you can. Otherwise you can find that the tape wants to move in one direction. It gets a bit caught up. So there we go. Okay, so that's that. I will now stick this down because otherwise it's going to stick to the work surface. So I'll bring in my snail again. You can use glue. I often do use the multi-purpose glue, but for speed I will use this on the video. So pop that so that it is central. And then this I'm going to pop up on some dimensionals. The thing I love about the dimensionals, certainly from a UK perspective, is that if you only use one layer, you can still get them through the post as standard postage, rather than having to pay for the extra thickness. So a lot of foam pads, unfortunately, are so thick that that's not going to work. But ours do. So yeah, happy with that. Pop that down. Then for the inside, I'm just going to use our Whisper White, and this is the smooth Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in the, actually this is crushed curry. I don't have the delightful Dijon, so I'm using crushed curry as the nearest alternative. And I need the sentiment, which is congratulations. Again, this is on red rubber. So let's pop that on there. I could probably put it on the D block as well, but as that's still got me my other. And foam pad, just tap gently, have a look to see that it's, you get a sort of shine on it, and then in the middle and up, and there we go. Nice little congratulations. So let's pop this away and add this to the inside of our card. Oops, all thumbs today. So there we go. So bring in the original, and there we are, two, I think, really lovely cards, and I think they will do for either men or women. Yeah, they're fairly non-specific, gender non-specific as far as that's concerned. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed that. If you want any of the products, obviously pop on over to my shop, that would be great. I really love your custom. If you're ordering, remember Celebration, £45 multiples thereof for a free item. And if you're putting in a big order, remember that you may want to try the starter kit, particularly at the moment when you've got the 2 free stamp sets as well. So there we go. I will see you again soon. Oh, if you want to see more, please subscribe. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And as I say, the associated blog post is below, as is the link to my shop, which is online 24/7. All online orders will get a thank you card from me. And if you use the hostess code, make sure you use the current one for when you're viewing this, which you'll find on my blog posts. If you use the hostess code, you will also get some free goodies if your order is between £25 and £150. See you again very soon. Thanks a lot.